Hello, and welcome to episode 49 of the Jack Halford podcast. Today, we're going to be doing some drawing. Yeah. The shirt is off because it's too hot. And yeah, it's too hot. Wearing trackies, it's too hot for trackies. I don't know why it's this hot in May. Summer is officially here, guys, and I'm kind of loving it. I went for a lovely run yesterday in the sun. It was very nice. It was very beautiful. Yeah. Today what I'm doing is just getting some ideas out on the paper, not really thinking too much about what I'm doing, just doing blobby stuff, which is nice. Yeah, got out for a run yesterday after hitting a PB on my deadlift, 200 kilograms. And the run was like 4.5 miles. I did feel very strong when I was running though, because I had a long sort of sabbatical of like a week or two off running. Felt very good to be back running. I feel like 1 or 2 runs a week is pretty good right now because I'm trying to bulk up for this powerlifting competition that I'm doing. But my God, is it nice to run with a shirt off in the sun. It's so good because I'm trying to get a tan. Because the winter makes you pasty. Yep. But anyway, what am I drawing right here? I think I'm drawing a man with hot dog legs. By the looks of it. Big feet. Big butt. There we go. Very nice. I'm super shattered. I even tried to go to yoga last night as well. And I was way too tired. Luckily it was like a sound bath and yoga, so I did enjoy the sound bath part, but I felt proper dehydrated, so I thought I was gonna die. It was so warm, so warm, too warm. Yeah. And I guess that's what I'm drawing right now, is someone's head on fire. Hot head. I'm doing a lot of drawings at the minute of people sort of engulfing other people with their minds, their perceptions. It does look like Chinese finger traps over their heads, engulfing the other person. Somehow I like the look of it. I think I might have to take these gloves off because I've got a cut on my hand from lifting and shit. I think your hands sort of get calloused and then they get soft and you have to callus them again if you have a bit of a break from certain types of things. Yep. Pretty chilled out tonight, pretty relaxed. Got a lot of hard work tomorrow, a lot of driving. I am teaching my students that I work with how to make sketchbooks with plywood and nuts and bolts. And I'm also teaching them how to do lino cuts, which is fun. Yep. I'll be doing some workshops in Leicester teaching you how to make lino cuts and zines from the 26th of May until the 29th of May. So from Sunday the 26th until Wednesday the 29th, I will be doing this. It's 4 days. In the morning from 12 till 3, I am doing the lino cut workshops. In the afternoons from 4 till 7, I'll be doing the zine work, which I think is going to knacker me out, but I'm prepared to get knackered out if people are learning new skills. And what's cool about these workshops is that they are inspired by punk and DIY culture. So the idea is I'm giving you the tools and the information to be able to just go and do stuff with minimal materials. I'm going to be giving everyone a kind of kit bag so that they can take that home with them and be able to just start making stuff, because you don't need a lot. All you need is like a cutting tool and some kind of board, lino block type of thing that you can carve in, and a rolling pin, or even just your hands, some plywood. I made my own printing press for under £40. This is possible if you've got offcuts, you've got access to a drill. I'm open to take commissions to make a printing press very cheaply, which you could then easily repair if it got damaged very easily. Yeah, I just think everyone should have access to things. It shouldn't be so difficult to just get on with creative projects. Yeah, it needs to be more accessible. There's a lot of big words being used to describe things that are not very complicated. I hate that. Yeah, I hate it a lot. Hate a lot. We don't need to make people feel uncomfortable by using overly complicated terminology to describe overly shibbity pop. Yeah. Oh god. I am knackered. What's nice is being knackered. I am very lucky that I get to do things like what I'm doing at the minute with these workshops, and the fact that I can even lift heavy shit. So I'm pretty grateful for that. You know, it's just a lot of hard work to get to like the stage I'm at, but I know that if I carry on what I'm doing with the routines and the consistency, that I can get even better at the type of thing that I'm doing, which is the goal. I'm very grateful that people are seeing what I'm doing and they're asking me to come and do workshops with them and their people. It's very nice. Yeah, but I'm still worn out. Need a break. Yeah. Don't forget to rest. I had a nice restful few days recently, which is why the podcast isn't out on Sundays. I'm just doing them every Wednesday, Thursday, whatever I feel like it now. Trying to get them out like every week-ish. I think it's important to be consistent, but I also think it's important to just go with the flow. And as long as I'm getting them out, you know, when I've got time, I'm a busy man. So it's trying to at least just get them out. I don't think people are expecting them on a certain day anyway. You know, the frequency of these things, it's more fun to sort of tease and edge. Wow. It's very nice to just play with materials like I'm doing now. You just fold some A4 pieces of paper together and staple them, and you've got a book. That's literally all a zine is. And then you design it. You take the staples out, you photocopy all the pages, and that's how you do it. It's pretty fucking simple shit. You know, anyone can do this. Anyone. Some people need a little push, and that's okay. I tell you what's nice, pink, black and white. They look very good together. I like this. See, the way I draw is quite painterly. Because, I mean, I'm even using paint pens here, so it's going to be a bit painterly. With the graffiti ink markers I use, they give me quite painterly marks. Which is very good. Yeah. So I think I've figured out my practice is what it is, and how I can merge exercise and stuff into it is through the exploration of biological imagery, and also writing about that and painting it in motion and sort of static, if that makes any sense. So I'm inspired by this microbiological imagery. I'm inspired by it. I take that imagery and I'm like, right, and I start making paintings, and then I start to see stories forming, and then they develop. So I'm not copying it, I'm influenced by it. And then the stories are usually about emotional processes, like overcoming something, or I mean, it's kind of these processes that happen can be kind of psychedelic, a whirlwind of different things going on, you know. So the best way to illustrate them is with very bright colours, and there's just a sort of suggestion of figures, but not actually painting them, because you can't. And it's sort of about how a man would view these type of emotions. It's from a man's point of view. It's like, what the fuck is going on, and how can I deal with this? And usually it's in an unhealthy way. So I'm trying to like express that. I don't know. It makes sense. You kind of have to riff with this stuff. Yeah. Alright. I do like that. Let me do another one. Black. I've got a fish hanging up here from a brilliant artist, and the flower that was sent to me from Bulgaria by a teacher who's a listener to the podcast, and was very kind, who I sent some zines for her students. So it's nice communicating with other people that are either philosophers or psychologists or artists or scientists around the world, and sharing things that we make and having conversations. I like that a lot. So if you're a scientist, I'm particularly interested in neuroscience at the minute. I'm looking into that, not intensely. I don't even really understand neurons and things, you know. I'm still like, it's very much GCSE A-level sort of standard understanding, you know, the cell body, the axon, and then the, you know, the frilly bits, the synapse. And I was like, oh, I thought it was all like electrical. impulses, but it turns out very chemical. So yeah, it's just going down to that level and trying to figure out how we even perceive things, and it's just, I don't know, it's trippy. I just want to understand it more so that I can use the biology, the microbiology, and the neuroscience as a way in to talk about the mind in a more wishy-washy way. I feel like I'm going to get to men more if I can sort of get to them through the physical and then take them on a journey to within in the internal. So it's like the exterior and the interior kind of thing. Yeah. I don't know, man. Yep. Interior, exterior. Interior, exterior. Interior, exterior. As I said, this is all just riffing. There's a lot of dead air with these things. That's just what the vibe is, It's just me fucking chatting shit. Yeah, and then I take clips, put it online. So if you're thinking this, you're just like, this is a bit quiet, then just fuck off. But this is how it goes. There's no rules. I don't like rules imposed upon me. I make my own kind of thing. As I talked about before, I do think that rules are important. Yeah. God. Not saying much at all. Inspiration. Let's have a look at my notebooks. So, God. Riff. Oh, God. It's too hot. So I suppose what I was thinking about on the way home from work today was like a shirtless man like I am now singing Delilah, pissed in Spain, angry at his life. I feel like that's many Britons. That's the kind of people that I want to touch with what I'm doing. I want to be like, look, shut up and stop doing that shit and figure some stuff out, because your life can be really good with a few tweaks, and I don't think that people are really happy, and then they do this stuff and it's like killing them inside and the people they love inside, and it's just really shit. So that's, it's like Ronnie Pickering or fucking lots of people's dads. Stella drinking, cigarette smoking, radio listening, lack of vitamin D, kind of shit. I don't know. Yeah. Alright. I'm not using this much. What else? Wood. There's going to be a more comprehensive kind of explanation of what on earth the art is about. But I have to just have these conversations with myself and record them and put them out there so that I can get feedback of other people and figure out what it is that I'm even trying to do. Because people relate to it, but then I'm like, so how is it actually? I don't know. You know. I think what people do is they stop being their true selves because they are afraid of what other people say, and they forget that those other people are all going to die. So it's just fucking we're all just scared of shit. But I'm increasingly becoming aware that if I don't just do stuff, then I'm just going to be afraid of everything. So just fucking do stuff and say no to people. Don't be freaked out, but don't be desperate. Just say no and be like, I fucking want to do that, so fuck off. You don't have to do everything. There's loads of work out there, kind of thing. I don't know. Just do shit. Tired. I think I want to create this aesthetic that's kind of like very performative hyper-masculinity. It's like hardware, like nuts and bolts and screws and wood and working out and shit. And then I'm like decorating it with loose, inky drawings of cheeky little fellas. Sort of narrativizing, storytelling, stories from my life. Like the other day I was in Matlock Bath, which is a crazy place. It's like a seaside town. It was very hot. And there was this like pirate looking dude who was just like, you fucking cunt. And I'm pretty sure that he kicked someone's wing mirror or something. I don't even know why. Probably just someone looked at him in a weird way. Kind of neurotic. Kind of fucking mad. But also, like, I felt like that before as well. So I just think it's probably just had too much to drink, but also it's probably doesn't like the way that his life is, and it's just, probably not getting enough sleep, probably got some fucking insomnia going on. That's what it looked like. You can sort of tell, I can sort of tell just by looking at someone what's going on, I reckon. Yeah. It almost looked like Hook off Peter Pan. Who to me just looks like an alcoholic. I think pirates were all like alcoholics because they're all drinking beer because you couldn't really get like clean water. That's why they were drinking all the rum and beer and stuff back then. I do like pirates. I think they are cool. I like the aesthetic of them. Yeah. There was a while for me where I was kind of avoiding hanging out with like dudes, and I think that's like one of the most terrible things that a dude can do. Is if you're just hanging out with women, you sort of turn into like a bit of a weakling. I feel like you forget that you're a dude, because they often they'll say stuff like, "Oh, it's okay to be like that. It's okay to like blah blah blah." And, like, no, I don't think we need that. I think we need to be told you're a bitch and you need to do hard work and you need to push through it. Yeah, you got to rest, but I think as men you have to kind of do hard stuff, and if you're not putting yourself through it, then that's when things start to feel a lot. That's why people go into self-destruct and they put themselves through all this shit, because they're feeling something. But you can feel that stuff by doing hard stuff that's good for you, not doing like heroin or something strong like that, Go on a run wearing tracksuit, make yourself sweat out. And do stuff that's uncomfortable. Because if you don't, you turn into a bitch. I don't know. Bitch. Maybe. Indigo. Yeah, but you gotta be like chill, bro. A lot of people say that I'm quiet, but the thing is, why do you have to say stuff all the time? I don't get it. People are like, "Oh, you're quiet." Well, so what's wrong with just looking at people? Looking at people in the eyes, and not saying anything. It's quite a good way to connect with people. I feel like people are very uncomfortable with quietness and silence. I think we've become too used to noise. I don't think it's just sort of natural to be constantly in need of communication with others. Yeah. We need a break. We need silence. We need to break the noise. Cities are sort of horrible places because they're just like constantly noisy, and there's not much silence. There's always this anxiety that there's danger around the corner. Even if you're strong, it doesn't really make a difference if someone's got a weapon, which they might have, and it'll be like a dodgy fucking weapon in a city as well. Not like just a shotgun near a farm. Like it's gonna be like a sawn off one, or a pistol, or like a fucking weird knife someone's got from a newsagent's, or like a kitchen knife. Cities are odd. they breed unhealthiness. Not to say that there's not unhealthy people in the countryside too, because they get too isolated. But you could be much more isolated in a city, I feel like. They're just not friendly places. They're really not. I very much would like to move to a more rural location as a base. I think I remember what I was talking about when I was thinking of my own practice the other day now, because I'm getting it from this and thinking of David Batchelor's chromophobia, which I've got here. It even has on it some like bacteria on the front. The idea that colour is kind of a pathological, it's other, it's a different entity to you. But it's not pure white, so there's kind of a bit of racism going on. But I like to use colour because no one does. There's this like attraction to earth tones that I'm just like over. Why it's fucking boring. Use colour and shock people with colour, which is funny. I think maybe people don't like colour because of pop art and they think it's dumb. There's nothing dumb about colour. It's very hard to use, I think, sometimes. I think it does take a little bit of skill to use lots of different colours in the same painting, but I'm finding it pretty easy actually. Once I get into the flow of it, just lay it down. And what I like to do is to pick a colour that is the opposite to the one that you think would work, and then try to make that colour work, because that kind of gives you more interesting paintings that feel different to the spectator, which will help to bring about questions about what looks good and what doesn't look good, and what is real. Pathology. Strange inside feelings. Strange feelings inside of the body. I get them when I'm not keeping up my habits that I always talk about on this thing. It's true. Like, I've had a break. I've got back to my routine. It's pretty easy when I'm at my home. When I'm not at my home, I have to try and like do the cold showers and eat right. But I like to have a break. So I'm doing bits of breaking at the minute and testing the discipline and the strength, and I'm like, I want to try things and I want to see how my body reacts to them now that I'm aware that these things that I put into my body are altering me. But that doesn't mean that I need to let this alteration overwhelm. I can be aware of this alteration going on, and I can choose to not be overwhelmed by it, and I can just feel it and be like, I know what's going on. And then just breathe and understand that this isn't real, that it's temporary, that we are all temporary. The great thing about watercolors and ink drawings is the instantaneousness of them, if that's even a word. The quickness. It's what I like about the drawn line. You can just draw things very quickly. And the best way to draw is to not really think, it's to just do. You know, when I work with students, they're trying too hard to make things look right. And what you need to do is just do lots of drawings until it works. You know, prolific. Sort of quantity over quality. Because if you're trying to make something look good, it becomes too tight. And when things are too tight, it doesn't really work very well. You have to be loose. You have to warm up the muscle to make it loosen up and relaxed, and will work better. Much like foreplay. Drawing is like foreplay. You have to not think about it too much and just do it. And it's a vibe. Just whoa, a bit touch that bit little balance. Yeah. That's what it is. See, I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing. And I drew some people together, and now I can go in with some red and just sort of add dots, make them look diseased. We are all diseased. Yeah. The best students are the ones that they just do things very quickly. Like I've just been talking about. Yeah. See, now I'm getting there. Now I'm getting into the groove. It's starting to work. Because I'm not trying to control my drawings. I'm just channeling them, and I'm letting them happen. But the thing is, I'm not actually drawing these. The pen is drawing it. The pen's just like taking over. I'm letting the pen do the work. You know. Ooh. Maybe. So I've been drawing, by the looks of it, someone going like that. Whoa. So I think what this bloke's sort of saying is, get away from me. I don't like the energy. I don't like you. And the person that I've drawn is not fully drawn. There's just part of a head, which is making me feel like this dude is thinking of a past moment, and he's been like, ooh, what the fuck was that? He's got like 4 eyes, so I'm guessing he's not even really in the real world. Maybe in a dream world, in the other world, which would make more sense. So this is an internal figurative drawing. This is a dream drawing. That's what that is. And often they'll look better on the verso, the behind, the reverse. Verso is a nice word. Verso. Now what I like to do is use the marks that sort of come through and go on to the next page. That's the nature of these industrial marker pens that I use. And use them as starting points for new drawings. So you sort of got the random marks that go through, and then you start to draw new figures to tell new stories. And this is all just almost a thinking exercise to develop the work and narratives. It's automatic, but it kind of isn't at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. Because is anything, can you really truly just draw without thinking of anything? No, I don't think so. I think you're always kind of conscious about what you're doing. You're always kind of self-conscious. You've always got ego going on and going into it. Yeah. Which is going to affect the outcome. Which is why it's nice to use tools that plop loads of ink out when you least expect it, because it creates a problem that you then have to either let happen or work with. Which will teach you things about yourself if you let it, if you're open to it. I think it's an important process to write and think about why you do things. I think it leads to less existentialism. If you really do open yourself up to the possibility that what your work is about isn't what you thought it was about, it's probably about something else, it can be a tool to teach you more about yourself. Looking at what you make and interpreting it like someone else is looking at it is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to embody these men that I meet and observe and think, what would they think of this? You know, what would that weird pirate-looking fella with the rosy cheeks in a leather vest think of these drawings? The ideas that I am trying to express. What would they think? Would they go, that's a load of fucking rubbish? and why, and how could I get them to engage with it so that I can affect them in a positive way. Difficult. Yeah. So this stoic idea of putting yourself through adversity, I do using the drawings by using these markers that are unpredictable. Life is unpredictable. I like to use materials that are kind of unpredictable and make me have to use my creativity to overcome these obstacles. Which helps me to think differently and thus win life. Like just doing blobs, and then they come through, then straight away I can sort of see new sort of things, new marks coming out. Eyeballs I see, so now I draw them in with pencil, and I really start to think, Aww. Well. Eyes. Looking into people's eyes is a great way to understand how they feel inside. A lot of people are very shy, they don't like being looked in the eye. And rhymes. But I think it's important to work through that uncomfortableness. I do. To really be able to connect with someone, I think it's important to have eye contact with them. Just when you avoid it, it makes someone else into someone else, when really they're just like you. We are all one entity. We are all one entity. We are the collective. Maybe. See, if you draw when you're tired, that can make some interesting looking stuff. Certainly had of painters purposely lacking sleep to help them get into weird states where they might start seeing things, to help them paint, help them come up with new ideas. I'm kind of against this. I think that we can get these things through healthier methods. I also think that it's okay to experiment. I think if you work hard to get to a place where you can understand what's real and what's not real, then it's a good place to be if you want to piss about with psychedelics or whatever, I suppose. Mushrooms. I'd be freaked out. Have you heard of people that have floaters in their eyes constantly because they had really bad trips, or like just took too much of something? Now they're just like frazzled all the time. No thanks. Frazzled. Sorry. Something I find difficult is when people are shitbags and have empathy for them, but I know that there's a reason why people are like the way they are, and it's no excuse for bad behaviour, and some people need a smack, but that doesn't mean that they aren't deserving of not a second chance with people that they've fucked over, but they can change and they can evolve into people that are kind. They can change. We shouldn't put ourselves at risk and try to change others. They need to change themselves. But all I'm saying is empathy is important. Yeah, very difficult as well. It takes a lot of strength to have it. But recently met a lot of people that have been through things and still have a great amount of empathy for people that have fucked with them, and it's made me reevaluate some things. Yep. Don't know what I'm doing here. I think I've done 2 people as boat people. They're just doing our boats. Something. they're going to be red, spotted, purple people, I think. You don't need a lot in life to be happy, but don't ever let people tell you that you don't need the things that you want or you're working towards, because then that's just their idea of like what they think, what they need. But you might actually be better off with some of those material things. But it's true that we don't need a lot. Just shelter and heat, food, work that you like to sustain all of those things. These are things that we should be focusing on to get right. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the person that illustrates Hunter S. Thompson's books. I like it. Tired one. Maybe the next one will be more energetic. Thanks for listening to this very quiet and hopefully slightly informative podcast. Tune in at some point next week for the one after this. Bye.